if it ain't Florida State. 13-0, undefeated, damn, what more it take? Denied our presence, that should be a crime, they jealous. Probably get in if the Gators wasn't 5-6. Miami better not say nada. Last time they won a championship, food stamps had paper dollars. Shout out to FAMU, that's fam too. They say it's about money, but keep it 100, we got bands too.
Yes. The Tiny Hat CEO has returned to the Renegade Roast. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who was watching this, whether you live or on the recording. Shout out to my beautiful co-host, the FSU Harley Quinn. What is up, Jen? How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
You know what? Listen, I was doing well. Not as good as you are, apparently, but I'm doing well out here. I see you got on your FSU. What's that? A tank top you got on today?
Yes. My little garnet tank top. Absolutely.
Even got the wild animals just scratching at your chest. Ain't that
I know. My kitty cat. She won't leave me alone. So
Hey,
my bad, guys. This one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. How have you been? Outside of that, you've been good? Everybody good up there? I know y'all storming up there.
Absolutely. Somebody's got to tell me something else to watch on TV. I'm over with my TV show. I'm very depressed. So
you can start watching House of the Dragon.
Anybody has any recommendations? And I cannot pay attention to things very well. So it can't be something that I have to pay attention to. I'm just saying.
What, you got, ADHD?
Yeah, I have the attention span of a gnat.
Okay. All right. Well, we ain't going to hate on you too much. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight because we got some things to get off of our chest, like Jen just had to get that cat off of hers. We're going to take down an ACC team that I had respect for until I actually started to do a deep dive into this school. So they are another also ran in this plebeian-ass conference. But we're going to start with what everybody's talking about today. The trash-ass ACC Media Days kicked off. And, of course, Mr. Jim Phillips being the lame-ass cuck that he is. Before we start diving into his comments, how you feel about Jim Phillips?
Well, I made a tweet and got into a little bit of trouble with it. But what I will say is I'm going to stand by every word I just said. I would take the 200-pound female who can't holster her weapon to run a league over Jim Phillips any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Okay? That's what I would do. Let her run it,
I mean,
because
listen,
this man can't do it.
He damn sure can't. You would think that somebody who's going to take over after the last dirtbag that we had in office would be able to do work. But this dude, he's just as bad, if not worse, because not only is he holding the water for this raggedy ass conference. I mean, I guess they paying him to do that, but he's terrible. He's terrible. So for anybody who ain't see it today, Jim Phillips got up there today at ACC Media Days and in my eyes made a whole ass out of himself. He went up there talking all kind of reckless nonsense. People want to, he's talking about FSU and Clemson. We're going to get into his comments, but he just got up there and ran his mouth. And I'm annoyed by his sorry ass. So a couple of the comments that I saw him say, number one, which I thought was hilarious, he made sure to talk about how mad he was about the FSU and the Clemson fans going after John Swofford. Oh, John Swofford is a decent and honorable man. Like,
sure.
So we don't give a damn about none of that. I don't give a damn if you a dirtbag. If you are doing what's in the best interest of your conference, then that's all that matters to me. Hell, name one commissioner out here that to some of their friends and family aren't honorable men. That don't mean that they not out here fighting hard for their conference. That don't mean that they not out here cheating and trying to make sure that their conference get more than they deserve. I mean, he out here bumping his gums. Another quote: every member willingly signed the grant of rights unanimously and eagerly. Again, so, I mean, what did you expect us to do? They signed it, and they thought that you would do that. Swofford was doing what's in the best interest of the conference. And then we turned around and looked at everybody else and was like, wait a minute, if we signed this deal, why are we not getting the same money that everybody else getting? Like, what was this? And then another one. the ACC will remain a healthy and viable conference that competes at the highest level. I'm going to pause on that one real quick. The ACC will remain a healthy and viable conference that competes at the highest level. So when he says the ACC is going to do this, who is he talking about?
Maybe a basketball team, because that's all he cares about. It ain't football. Because we had an ACC team competing at the highest level, and he chose to sit on his hands because he didn't want to pay Florida State the bump. We know that. Everybody knows it. They didn't want to pay them that little extra bonus, right?
Right.
That man cheers harder for his old boss or current boss, we don't know who it is, right? Than he does his own league to actually get camera time. He's over there golfing, getting Greg Sankey water, filling his tray or making sure Kirk Herbstreit's dog has water, than he is making sure that the best team out of his league actually got his place in the playoffs and got extra money for the whole league. And the whole league should actually be angry about the way he handled that, while he's over there doing jumping jacks for anybody at ESPN who told him to be quiet, and he certainly shut the hell up.
Now, see, you giving him more credit. He wasn't doing jumping jacks. He was out there twerking. His coochie was pink and his booty hole was brown. That's what he was out there twerking.
Do you really think he can twerk? Let's be for real.
Listen, who knows? For the way that he's going on and on and on against FSU and Clemson for just trying to make sure that they rightfully get what they deserve to be getting out here. Yes, I do think he was out there. He is the captain of the twerk team. When all of the commissioners for these conferences come up, his sorry ass gets up there and starts throwing his ass in a circle because he is doing whatever they want to do. He's acquiescing to all of these other conferences. He's letting them get away with murder and then turning around and trying to blame and pin things on us for the league not being where it is. And that's why I wanted to pause on that, because when he said, and I quote once again, the ACC will remain a healthy and viable conference, he's only talking about two teams in this conference. He's talking about Florida State and he's talking about Clemson, because nobody else in that conference has done anything worth a damn to have this conference even get any sort of status. That's why every year it's always Florida State or Clemson. Whoever wins that game is going to win the conference. Florida State or Clemson. If they go undefeated, they're going to end up going to the playoff or getting invited to the playoff. That's what it is that they say all the time. I don't see anything else viable. That's what we've been doing over this last 9 weeks of this show here, is showing just how non-viable the rest of these raggedy ass teams in this conference are. So what the hell is he talking about? Don't make no sense. He can't be talking about the Hurricanes. He can't be talking about Wake Forest. He damn sure he's talking about Syracuse.
Like biggest up-and-coming fan base in the league.
Right. So what other teams are viable out of this raggedy ass conference? Vatech ain't did shit since they've been there. Miami ain't done shit since they've been there. Clemson, they're on our side of this. UNC, they beat Miami every year. But outside of basketball, what is UNC doing? Duke, basketball, they ain't doing nothing on the field.
They do beat Miami, though.
They beat Miami too, right? So who else? NC State, they got nothing. And then, we're going to go bring some prestige from the West Coast. You got the three teams that were left over after the rest of the conference was picked up by the Big 12. So where is your viability coming from? Is SMU going to bring prestige to this?
Cal is in the red. The only team, and I do, the only team that could have actually brought any sort of competitive nature was SMU. It certainly wasn't Cal or Stanford. Let's be for real. I still don't think SMU can compete with Florida State and Clemson at all.
Nope.
Now, can they with Wake, Duke, Miami? Sure. Yeah.
Sure. But again, that's not prestige. That's not viability. Those teams are not going to bring any type of national recognition to this conference. Hell, Miami only gets recognition because they're so ass that the country, that Kirk Herbstreit goes on game day and he's like, "Oh, what is going on down in Coral Gables?" And then they had to make changes. And then they decided to get in the game. It took 20 years. Thanks, Grandpa, for showing your ass up. But outside of that, what good is the rest of this conference out?
And then what they do, they got Mario. Okay.
And then they went and lost to Georgia. Anyway, we not.
And North Carolina again.
Right, right. And I can't wait until Manny Diaz put belt to ass to the boys this year. It's
And
gonna be
Rutgers.
fantastic.
Like, we
Exactly.
can't forget about Rutgers.
And Rutgers. Like they bring nothing. So when he says healthy and viable conference that competes at the highest level, he only talking about the two teams that he spent the rest of his speech shitting on. So again, talking nonsense. Said another thing, the ACC is bigger than just one school or schools. Again,
Lies.
you can say that all you want. We know who cutting you the check, but it's not true. It's not true. Florida State's won a national title, won multiple national titles in this conference. Clemson's won multiple national titles in this conference. And then who else?
That's it.
Nobody. Exactly. So the ACC is just two fucking schools, and that's the problem. They're just two schools. So to Jim Phillips, shut your bitch ass up. All right, shut your ass up. That's what you can do. Jim Phillips was up there running his mouth that whole time, and I ain't gonna lie, he looked like Joe Biden up there reading off that teleprompter. That's what he looked like. You couldn't understand a word that was coming out of his mouth because one second he said something, the next second he was mumbling his ass off. The next second after that, he turned his head the other way. Exactly. Just clicked off a couple of times. He stopped talking mid-sentence like 8 times that I counted. I had to cut that shit off. All right. Jim Phillips was up there reading, and he looked like the kid. Like every time he was that kid in class that when the teacher called them to read, everybody else just sank back in their chair, like, come on, not this non-reading ass motherfucker. That's what we had up there. That's the dude.
Or was it like Billy Madison when he's like, today?
Today, Junior. That dude got up there. He was wide-eyed. He was shook. Shout out to Blake Oswald. He was shook. That boy was wide-eyed, like he didn't know what was going on. He looked like Bambi Mama before she got shot. Just bow and got put down. All of them words that he had up there, it wouldn't surprise me if he reached out to Swofford, who's in witness protection, and got him to write the speech for him. Them wasn't his words. Those were John Swofford words. That's what we saw. That's what it sounded like.
Well, again, this is like the first time we've even seen Jim Phillips' sorry ass in months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and now he comes out here in his terrible, like, who dressed this man? I don't know. It was giving the country club, like, old man look, like from the back room where those men think they still look young. And it's like, sir, you don't. It was like, it was just giving like witness protection outfit. You know what I mean? Like, this was bad.
Listen.
And you're a millionaire. Why are you dressing like that? I question this.
Listen, that suit was swallowing him. He looked like LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony when they got drafted back in 03. Yeah. That's what he looked like. Big ass suit that he had on. That man got to be. How tall is Jim Phillips? He got to be 5'8". He got all the energy of somebody who's 5'8", 5'9".
I was giving he gives me like 5'2" vibes.
Lame ass. Yeah, so he's the O-line coach from Miami height. That's what he is. Look like he represent the lollipop guild out here. Lame ass. He need to go sit his ass down somewhere. And then again, just to piss me off even more than that, you follow Swofford, who we know has all the dirt out here. That's why he went into WITSEC. We can't find his ass. Okay, the Tiny Hat SEAL Team 6 is still looking for him. We are hot on his trail, but he does a terrible job. Then this guy takes over. And he ain't no different. He's just like when who was it? Wasn't it Goodell that took over for Tagliabue and did a shit job? So Tagliabue had to come back and fix something for him, and then Goodell was able to take off. That's what this reeks of. This reeks of terrible leadership. The shit's going off the skids on his watch, and he's going back to Swofford to try to figure out what the hell he needs to do to try to fix this thing, to get this ship steered in the right direction, but it's too far gone. So you not only get up there and you make all of these outlandish statements, and then you turn around and shit on the two teams that gave any sort of prestige.
That make your money.
Right. Any sort of prestige. Bring in all the bread, bring in all the eyes that's actually out here winning games on the field. You go out here and you talk trash about them because they're clearly saying you ain't doing your job. And this is what we got to do out here. This is what we get. This is what we get. I can't wait to see the rest of these media days. They lucky that I ain't up there, because if I was up there, I'd be lighting his ass up every time I saw him. every time. Hit him in the head with an egg, not even a regular egg, like a pickled egg, so he can get that pink vinegar juice all over his suits. Maybe it'll make it look better.
Oh, like that pink pickled, like hoof
Hell
feet
yeah.
type juice when they
Oh
have
hell
that
yeah.
hoof feet. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, listen. Hey, wait, hold on. There will be no pig feet disparagement on this show. All right.
Look, I'm Southern. I'm not going there.
When the last
I'm
time you ate
talking
a
about
pig
the
feet?
liquid inside the pig feet pickle juice.
Oh, that
You know what I
vinegar
mean? That
juice.
pink stuff.
I ain't gonna lie. That's making my lips water. Hey, I fuck a pig foot up. That's just what I do. I ain't drinking the juice, but I definitely will fuck up a pig's foot. But
I was talking, that's what the juice looks like. It's that pinkish, kind of jelly. I mean, gross. It's going to make me, whatever, but that's what it looks like.
I ain't gonna lie, that's turning me on right there. That's my type of language. We out here, we rock it with pig feet juice. But now I'm gonna hit his ass with a pickled egg, and maybe it'll turn his suit into an Easter suit, a big ass suit that he got on. But like his grandmama dressed him, he should be ashamed of himself. Ashamed of himself. And again, I want to know. What I want to know is if you are looking at this conference and you have the audacity to say that they're going to perform at the highest level, right? Then what are you doing to raise the floor of this conference?
They're not.
Right? Not a damn thing. What are you doing to help Syracuse, to help not Georgia, to Syracuse? What are you doing to help any of these other, Boston College? What are you, like, you brought Cal over. What is Cal going to do? What are you going to do to help Cal? What are you going to do to help Stanford? Those teams
Erase
are
their
going to come in
debt.
and get run down. I mean, are they cutting checks? Are they cutting checks to make sure that Florida State stay? No. So then what do you got them there for? Are they just extra votes so that when Florida State and Clemson decide that they want to leave, they're just like, no, hold them here because they have all the bread.
Ding, 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 ding.
Like, go fuck off.
I think you just answered your own question.
Like, get the hell out of here. You're not doing anything to raise the floor of this raggedy ass conference. And that's why nobody want to deal with their ass. Hey, hold on. Time out. Hey, Jared, it ain't about being too arrogant, homeboy. And ain't nobody want it. We calling a spade a spade. We calling it like we see it. I want to know who your team is. Who's your team? All right. You up here running your mouth. Let's see who your team is. Watch you gonna say some bullshit. That's probably another Tennessee fan.
I'm sorry. I don't even see this Jared person.
What's Jared in here. You're too arrogant. He spelled your wrong too. It's YOU''RE, you ass.
Well, then you just answered your own question. Of course, he's a Tennessee
That's why nobody wants your whiny asses. Man, shut your ass up. Anyway, I'm sick of him. You can go sit his ass down somewhere. Go talk to your mom.
Hey, but at least that weirdo Stingray hasn't come in.
Oh, no, I'm hoping Stingray pull up. Shout out to Stingray, the biggest gin hater. Love that dude. I can't wait for him to pull up and start talking reckless because I'm going to light his ass up again. A waste of time. But no, so nothing. So you're doing nothing to raise the floor. Mm-hmm. You're not doing anything to bring more eyes to the ACC. He sat up there and bragged about the ACC network and said that they were innovative. They were an innovative network that other networks are trying to imitate. I'm sorry. The ACC network is useless. It's useless. So what is he talking about? Where is he getting any of this information from? Who are the yes men in his ears thinking that anybody gives a damn about what the ACC network got going
on? I would suggest maybe he should take trazepam or whatever it's called, trazodone. That's usually what they give people who have schizo, precursors. He's clearly hearing voices in his head that says, hey, we're going to be really good. Let's build up this league. We've got this team. We've got that team. And yet nobody is telling him that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like maybe we should do like a GoFundMe for his mental health. Get him some trazodone. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Well, he must be taking all of the narcotics. That's why the rest of them got him up there twerking for him, because this is a waste of time. I didn't like anything about what Jim Phillips had to say. He is nothing more than Swofford light. Swofford made a whole bunch of big moves, and the conference is stuck where it is now. But Phillips ain't done nothing. He couldn't even go out there and big up the one squad that went undefeated in his conference and try to lobby for us to get into the playoff last year.
Right.
And then he wants to turn around and say, we're bigger than just two schools.
Again, he couldn't help us get into the playoffs because he was busy cleaning Greg Sankey's shoes and feeding, Kirk Herbstreit's dog. That's what he was doing. He
Sankey
wasn't
told him
doing
to go get his
anything
box.
else. That
For-
man was sitting there with his little shoe shining kit over there, like, yes, sir, like, let me take care of you, Greg Sankey. That's all he was doing. He certainly wasn't helping out the ACC.
Huh.
And that
Yeah.
MFR, I mean, would he have done it if it was Clemson in there? I think he would have.
Sankey told him to go get his shine box, like this was Goodfellas. And he was just like, yes, sir, master. Started salt shooting his ass the hell out of here. He's
And
a waste
then
of time.
Kirk said, hey, go chop the hair off my dog's butt. And then, we can come back to it. He's like over there grooming Kirk's dog and couldn't even be in the room. Are we kidding? And then the only coaches you had in there was, what's his name? Oh my God, I've even forgotten his name. Jim Grobe's ass.
Like, what is that?
The only thing Jim Grobe has ever done is like hurt Florida State players with that god awful field. Let's be for real.
Right. Don't nobody give a damn about Jim Grobe. Like, he's a waste of space too. All of them are just haters. They all hate FSU. I don't know why they don't give Clemson none of the love, but they just waiting on Clemson to fall back down to earth after that run that they went on. But
I think they see Dabo kind of like going,
this whole thing just reeks of just ineptitude at the top. They none of them will accept accountability for their actions or lack thereof, which is the problem. All of them are trash. Shout out to Blake Oswald. You damn right. Boo Corbin, bitch ass too. We can get his ass. We can lump him right on in there. We can definitely get his sorry ass lumped in there too. Sat right up there.
Boo Corbin still clearly sleeps with his mom. Okay, he needs to go into his mom's bed on nightmares and all the things. His name is Boo Corbin, and he, I guarantee you, he is his mother's escort to parties. Right? Let's be for real about what goes on in North Carolina and South Carolina, all those areas. We know this. Boo Corrigan is, a mama's boy.
Shout out to Jason in the chat. He said, if FSU is not that important, then why have they taken over the airwaves? They took over the SEC media days. If FSU isn't important, then let them out of the ACC. Why fight them? 100% right. Spot on. All of the fans of these other schools, these other conferences, all of these pundits on TV, they all try to downplay the importance and the significance of FSU. But yet, SEC media days, the first thing that they talking about, Florida State and Clemson going to the SEC. They got to answer the questions. ESPN can't do nothing but talk about Florida State. That's all it is. When Florida State gets snubbed from getting into the playoff, for the next month, it was nothing but FSU talk all the time. So when all of these people sit here and claim that Florida State is old school, Florida State has been, they haven't done nothing. We must be big and bad enough where all of y'all got to talk about us. All right. And it's not just us talking about us. We talking about the haters that's talking about us. We talk about commissioners talking about us. All of the media, which we know ESPN hate Florida State, but they had no choice but to talk about us. And now when we out here talking right back to them, everybody want to tell us that we want it. All we doing is telling you the same thing. Expedition Greg said Big Ten commissioner will get peppered with questions during Big Ten media days. Absolutely. He ain't gonna have no choice. He gonna have to look them dead in the face and say, I can't comment on this. We love where we stand with the Big Ten. We added new members. We welcome in Oregon and Washington and whoever else that they added in over there. That's all he can say because he don't want to get sued for tampering. But we already know what the game is. We know Florida State already got a seat at either one of them tables. We know that the SEC will bring us in if they're going to try to stop Florida State from going and giving the Big Ten a foothold in the South. We know that the Big Ten would love to pull Florida State in there just so that they can have that foothold in the South so they can add another premium blue blood program to their ranks because they got a whole bunch of mid up there in that conference too, and they need to bring somebody up there to break up that bullshit that Ohio State and Michigan got going because the damn sure ain't going to be Iowa or Wisconsin or Minnesota or Northwestern
or probably Oregon because no
Indiana.
Offense,
right.
They can never win the big game. They're always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Right. So that's what they need. They got Ohio State and Michigan on one side, they got Oregon on the other side, and they need another squad to put over there to kind of be the big four of that whole conference. Because we damn sure know Penn State ain't doing it. We know that Michigan State ain't doing it. We know that who else is over there? We already said Nebraska, which is the Miami of the Big Ten. Like that's exactly what we're
I was
looking
about
at.
to say, I think Oregon might be, but that's fine.
Nah, at least Oregon will get to the Big Ten title game. Miami can't even do that.
They did once. They had to kick a field goal, but that's,
Sorry asses. Sorry asses. So we already know. They know that when Florida State gets out of this thing, the Big Ten is going to be right there like, yeah, come on down. Come on down. That's what it is. So I'm not even worried about that. So to Jim Phillips, go ahead and just go find Swofford, and y'all just go off into Zanhuatanejo like Andy and Red from Shawshank Redemption. Go build a boat on the west coast of Mexico. Go swim in the water over there. Go hold hands and frolic in the surf, because y'all are terrible at what you're doing right now. You're horrible, and we don't give a damn about nothing that you got to say, especially when you shitting on Florida State, one of your premier programs. You're a waste of my time, a waste of my breath, and I need you to go kick rocks. Go put on your G-string, go down there and let them throw dollars on your ass at Greg Sankey House for whatever parties that they got going on at the country club. You're a waste of time. Speaking of ACC Media Days, I'm not going to roast this, but I did want to read something that I thought was awesome that I saw hit the timeline, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this from our dear old coach, Mr. Mike Norville. How you feel about Mike? I know you like Mike, don't you?
I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike was like 6 inches taller. People, I'm telling you, he was like 6 inches taller. That's her style. I'm telling you. So somebody asked Mike Norville about Greg Sankey's comments that UGA was a top 4 team that didn't make the playoff, and the SEC didn't complain about it. So they pretty much asked him about that. And Norville said this, and I quote, I don't disagree that Georgia was one of the top 4 teams if you're judging off talent and ability, but they also earned their loss. Talk that shit, Mike. That was part of the result of what happened on the field. Talk that shit, Mike. When you look at our team and what it was, we controlled the things that we could control. We unfortunately had an injury, but we had a team that responded to it. Everybody can have an opinion of what happened. I don't disagree that they were one of the 4 best teams, but what happened on the field kept them out of the playoff, end quote. Mike Norville coming off the top rope with the real talk. That's all we've been saying. Yep. Big Mike was letting y'all know, hey, we won the games on the field. That's what's supposed to matter. 13-0.
And again, we have to listen to the culture, right? And again, I'm about to get into the culture here in a minute. But we had to hear the culture at Florida State. Florida State's last game was a win. Georgia's last game was a loss. And if you want to tell me those kids didn't want to come back and play after a loss because, Saban owns Kirby Smart, we know it, you know it, everybody else knows it, maybe you should have won that game. You weren't undefeated. You lost to a 1-loss Alabama team who got rickrolled at home by Texas's ass, who lost to Oklahoma, who was terrible. Let's stop this now. Like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Georgia, you don't get to complain when you lost your last game. Okay? There was only one team who didn't lose their last game. And those kids said, you know what? We did everything we were supposed to do. Y'all can kiss my ass. If you think I'm going to come play in this sorry-ass bowl game, no offense to the Orange Bowl, whatever, I don't blame one of those kids for stepping out of that bowl game. Not a one.
Nope. Not a single one.
Why should you go get hurt? Why should you go get hurt to do what? To do what? Get Georgia's revenge because they can't beat Alabama? That isn't their problem.
Right.
Florida State did what they had to do. Georgia didn't. That's the difference.
Facts.
Again.
Talk to them.
I don't want to hear this out of Georgia's fans anymore. I don't want to hear it out of Alabama's fans anymore. Alabama or Texas, by the by. Texas, the only reason your sorry asses got into the playoffs is because they wanted to put Alabama in there and they couldn't do it without catapulting you. They didn't want you in there either.
Ooh. Jen talking, wait, hold on. Jen talking reckless out here. We're talking about base jeering, the Seaman holes or getting beat by 30 regardless. Listen, you would know about Seaman because when your mama said that her throat was scratchy, I told her it was because my kids was in there playing freeze tag. All right. I need you to hold that down. The Seminoles may have lost that game by 30. It don't matter. It don't matter. We didn't have our team out there, sir.
Nope.
Okay. The team wasn't out there. After them boys went undefeated and the suits took them boys out of the game. It wasn't the results on the field. It was the suits. The suits said, you know what? We're going to put this team in over them because they lost their quarterback. But we saw what that team did. That defense was elite. Shut Florida down. Shut a top 15 offense in Louisville down. Shut them down. You have to let them boys get in there and play. I don't give a damn what Georgia did. Georgia lost their last game. If you lose a game, you got to get out. Now, if they wanted to say the best 4 teams, then you should have had Georgia in there because Georgia was the best team all year.
They only chose to do the best 4 teams this year, so stop with that too. Miss me with all that.
Right.
They never did that again.
You can't say that it's the most deserving teams because then you left Florida State out. Yeah, it was a your mama joke. It was about how your mama was swallowing my children. Okay. It was a joke about her sore throat problems, sir, and how I helped cure those. All right. That's what it was. All right, go sit your ass down somewhere. Either way, it was about the kids on the field doing work. So if you want to say it was the 4 best teams, then you have no basis for leaving Georgia off. All right. If you want to talk about the most deserving teams, then you have to have Florida State in there. So they changed the criterion based on the teams. And that was always the issue that we had with this. You cannot sit here and say that an undefeated team that won every game responded to the adversity, had the senior leadership step up, had the big dogs step up and win the games that they probably should have lost because they lost their starting quarterback. You can't hold that team out, regardless of whether or not. You're damn right, Jerry.
Absolutely ruined their whole narrative when they ranked Georgia at 5 or Florida State at 5, Georgia at 6. We all knew this. You ruined your whole narrative by saying the best teams.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
If
we shit all over
wants
that
to tell me Georgia
too.
wasn't better than Texas, Georgia wasn't definitely better than Alabama. I know they did lose to them. I know. But on paper, and by the way, that's why they ranked Oregon the same way all year. Oregon was best on paper. Washington should have been left out. If Washington didn't play Oregon in that game, Washington would have been left out. Because guess what? Kirk Herbstreit said Oregon was better on paper. But guess what happened? The game was fucking played. Okay?
Yep.
End
the
of story.
Oddsmaker said that Washington was going to lose too. Yep. Everything said that Washington was going to lose to them boys.
Yep.
Right? And they went out there and they showed up. And if we really want to talk about most deserving, hell, Washington looked like pure and utter ass bouncing on camera for the last month of the season.
Game, but who did Oregon beat last year? Besides Colorado's sorry ass.
And we that should count as an L for them. Like that. I love when Dan Lanning came out there was like, hey, they doing this for the clout. We doing this for the glory. I loved it. What
glory? You just beat a 4-win team. Like, take your glory on to God because it ain't working here. I'm sorry. There is nothing about Oregon's schedule that deserved what they got. And they were like treated like a number 2 team in the fucking country. It's insane. And then they lost to Washington twice. And they were picked to win against Washington twice. So again, let's stop this. Florida State didn't deserve. They deserved to try, but did Washington not deserve to try? Because all ESPN, the gambling sites, everything, Vegas had Washington losing to Oregon twice, and guess what they did? They beat them twice. Last time I checked, results are earned on the field.
That's all that matters. The play on the field is what matters. And while all of this was going down, the Florida State fan base, FSU Twitter, all of us had to stand up and say, yo, I can't believe y'all did this. Where was Jim Phillips? Where was Jim Phillips? He was attached to a riding crop, getting smacked on the ass with one of them floggers out here by SEC commissioners and the rest of the people out here in these streets. That's what he was.
He was
ESPN
cleaning
ESPN was sending
Kirk
him emails.
Herbstreit's dog's butt. That's what he
Uh-huh.
was doing.
He was out here sending. ESPN was sending him pictures with the emails with the pictures of him wearing women's underwear. That's what he was doing. We seen it. We seen it. All right. Jim
He
Phillips wasn't
does
doing
kind of
nothing.
give the what's that guy's name that was the head of the FBI who liked to wear women's clothes?
Nope.
Come
Nope.
on. You know what I'm talking about. Let's be for real.
I have no idea who you're talking about. I don't pay attention to the feds.
Fine.
Hey, they ain't finna try to take me out. We already see what they're doing out
Oh,
here.
J. Edgar Hoover. Thank you in the chat. Yes, he does give me some J. Edgar Hoover vibes. Like in some high heels, you know, doing all the things behind. And Joe Long, classy panel. Nobody asked you to be here. If you don't want to be here and if we're offending you, clutch your pearls harder. Go faint on your fanning couch. It's a fun time here. It's all good.
Hey, your wife was classy yesterday when she was dancing in my living room. Shut your ass up. All right. I know it's
Imagine getting this upset off of how people talk.
Get him the hell out of here. Ain't nobody paying no attention to him.
Wench.
That boy he talking about you too old for your mama jokes, but he out here calling people wenches.
Know, right?
Elizabethan English out here. Take your AP class, take an ass out of here, bro. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Like a wench. What is this? Are you
Go
watching like Vikings on Netflix? Is that what we're doing?
Go eat a turkey
like
leg.
Wench.
Like, get your shit right. What the hell is wrong with you, bro? He called you a wench. Like, who does
Imagine like getting that upset, like in a group, like in a YouTube chat, just like shaking, you know, like a poodle.
Yeah, he's got one hand on the keyboard and the other hand stroking it because he's loving that FSU tank top that you got on. Yeah. He just had to go get some hand sanitizer, bro. Clean your hands off. You'll be all right. You'll be
okay.
Right.
The sticky will come off your keyboard soon. I promise.
Yeah, if you use the hand sanitizer, it actually won't mess up your motherboard, so you'll be okay. It'll evaporate, so it won't mess it up. So you'll be all right. But I love what Mike said. I wholeheartedly agree with Mike. The results on the field is what mattered. The results on the field is what was taken away from our players. And I once again I agree. I think I hope that is the start of Mike Norvell's villain era. I want to see him cause pure and utter chaos. I need him to win every game this year by 30. I want us to be throwing bombs and running down on people when we're up by 31 points and it's 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. All right, that's what I need. I need him to be just straight up stank with it. And when they come to here and say, well, you're running up the score, what about sportsmanship? All I need him to do is hold up that picture that these Shames and these Shamesville fans always do, with him sitting in the chair with his hand like this after all of our players heard that they left us out of the playoff. He can sit right there and look at it. Or he can hold up the picture showing the top 4 teams that they put in the playoff last year and go, you don't like it? Tough. All right, y'all said results on the field is what matters. Well, we're going to dominate the game out here. We're going to bust your ass. We're going to keep busting your ass. And when we done busting your ass, we're going to talk shit about you in the post game. Hey, our team out-executed that team over there, regardless of if they had their true freshman in. We put our true freshman in, and we were still throwing 98-yard bombs on them. We don't care. That's what I need Mike to do. I need him to come out here and be the most classy chaos agent that we've ever seen. And I loved every word of the comments that he made there. So once again, shout out to our fearless leader, Mr. Mike Norvell. Fantastic quote. Very, very classy guy, but he got right to the point. He said exactly what we've all been saying for the longest. Results on the field should matter, and they clearly said that it don't. So good job on Mike Norvell there.
Imagine this being like your comeback. Florida State semi-knots.
Semi-knots?
Oh my God.
Really,
like,
Joe?
Go back to the drawing board, weirdo.
Really, Joe? That's what you
That's
got?
not good. Joe Long, that's not good. Florida State semi-knots?
Yeah. His name is Joe Long.
That's like something my 4-year-old would come up with. No
His
offense.
name is Joe Long. Joe Long. All right? That's all you got to say. His name is Joe Long. All right. But I know your wife caught my long wood quite a few times. All right. I'm giving her good hard wood.
Isn't it amazing that whenever you like upset one of these weirdos that like jump into chats and like say stupid shit and you
Oh,
call
we
them
love
out
it.
for it, they're like, over your head, blondie, or want to call me a blonde or an idiot or like a bimbo or like, oh, you have blonde hair. No shit, I have blonde hair. And guess what? You wish that like you could touch it. You fucking strange pieces of shit. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Joe Long is mad because I kicked in the door wearing cowboy boots and drawers, holding a piece of long wood like Hacksaw Jim Duggan on his wife the other day. That's what it is. He's mad about it. So, is that better for you, Joe Long? Yeah, all right? Get it together.
Who's ancient, Joe Long? Is it you?
Mm-mm.
I'm not
Mm-mm.
ancient. Am I ancient?
Either way. All right. Again, shout out to the chat. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like, and subscribe. All right. Let's talk about a team in this plebeian ass conference, the Ass Coast Conference. Once again, as we're going through the weeks up until the season starts, we've just been going over all of the members of this trash ass conference, and we've been making sure to highlight why we need to get the hell out of here. So this week, we are going to talk about Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets of Atlanta.
The
All right,
Miami
first off,
Kryptonite.
before we get into a deep dive on Georgia Tech, what are your overall thoughts on Georgia Tech? Give me some of how you feel about Georgia Tech. Any memories that you got of Georgia Tech outside of them
Georgia
bombing on
Tech
Miami?
field sucks. They always hurt the players. They go for the ankles. I can't stand them. I think they're a bunch of MIT people. They're what is it? It's a bumblebee or something, some bullshit, or
Yeah.
a beat up car. I don't. What the
Mm,
hell is going on here? It's really
mm,
disturbing. Whatever their cultish thing is, they can't put 5 people in the stands. Them and Miami have a lot more in common than we thought.
mm.
Minus the MIT stuff or the ability to take a knee. But I don't give a shit about Georgia Tech. I'm sorry. That's the end of my that's the end of my diatribe. No, I don't care.
Georgia Tech, this school. So I did a deep dive on it. I had some respect for Georgia Tech because I remember a few times Georgia Tech would give Florida State problems, and then I actually started to read up on this raggedy ass school. All of that went right out the window. So let's go over this here. Georgia Tech, member of the ACC since 1983. They've actually been around since the 80s. 3 conference titles. Shout out to the University of Coral Gables Hurricanes fans. Y'all ain't got none of those. They got 3 of them. They got one in 1990, one in 98, and another one in 2009. But the 2009 ACC title, where they beat Clemson 39-34, they had to vacate it. And this is a part of what I actually liked about Georgia Tech, because the NCAA came in and said, hey, y'all had ineligible players on your team, so we taking this title. We doing an investigation. And Georgia Tech was like, we ain't turning over nothing. And the ACC then said, you know what? Since y'all are hampering or hindering our investigation, we vacating your wins and your title. All right, so it sounds like Georgia Tech got some cheating in them. And I like that. I like that about them a lot. So they've even won a conference title since the University of Coral Gables Hurricanes have been in the league.
Yeah.
And they still ain't got there, which is absolutely hysterical. They got 4 national titles, only one since Black people were able to play. That was in 1990, where they were co-champions with Colorado. They
Ugh.
actually got the coaches poll national title,
Wait a
and
minute. Wait,
Colorado
hold
won
up.
the AP poll.
So Georgia Tech had to split it with like the whitest team on the planet.
They did. They did. They were co-national
Stop.
champions that year.
Stop.
they won the coaches poll, and the Colorado Buffaloes won the AP poll, so they were co-national champions that year. In terms of bowl games, 18 bowls since 2000, 7-11 record. So again, not helping the ACC out at all. Last season, 7-6, 5-3 ACC record. Of course, the best win of the season, outside of Florida State beating Miami and the Gators, where they bust Miami's ass because Miami didn't kneel the ball, and then they went right downfield. And I wholeheartedly believe that game alone cost Cam Kitchens some money because they moved that boy you see how they moved him from safety down to linebacker in the league. He went to the league. They moved him from safety to linebacker.
I feel like it should have cost Mario money because he put his hand on everything. I don't care what anybody says. That man doesn't keep his hands off of any part of the players on the field, off of any part of his coaches. This is why he continuously fails.
Yep.
And nobody understands it. That man is never going to keep his hands off. And I can't wait getting fired from what was it? FIU, FAU, who fucking cares? It's the same diff.
FIU,
right?
FIU. Yep. They definitely won that game last season. Versus FSU, they have an 11-15-1 record all time against FSU. FSU has won 3 of the last 5 games against the Yellow Jackets. So that's pretty much it. Nothing spectacular. Middle of the road. I was happy to actually see. I was like, okay, Georgia Tech, y'all got 4 titles. And then I looked and I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Martin Luther King was still alive when y'all won back then. 3 of them shits. I don't want to hit none of that. All right. They were back in the 50s and earlier than that. It was like 19 teams. Go sit your ass down. So you're not getting credit for none of that. So once since black people were allowed to play. And then when I looked at the school, I'm like, all right, well, let's look at some fun stuff about Georgia Tech. What's good about Georgia Tech? They're in the heart of Atlanta, and don't nobody give a damn about that school. All right. I know this because I've been to Atlanta quite a few times. If it is not one of those, if it's not Spelman, if it's not Morehouse, if it's not Clark Atlanta, don't nobody care about this school. I don't know anybody who likes this school. I call a couple of my cousins who live up there, and they're like, Georgia Tech. Nobody give a damn about Georgia Tech. All right. 47,000 students. 98% of them are dudes, and the other 2% identify as dudes. That's what it is up there. There is all of 9 girls that go to that school, and I'm almost positive that they work there. Okay. That's why they came down here and bust Miami ass so bad. Because them boys was up there cockstrong, stuck full of all of that testosterone, and they were ready to run down on something, just jacked up hard, ready to go. So that's why they should be a better football school than they really are. But that's also a hindrance to them because they can't get no girls to go up there. How are you in the heart of Atlanta and you can't get top dogs to go to that school? They should be they are in the middle of the modern day Wakanda up there. Y'all ain't got nobody up there. Y'all don't have no type of lineage going on up there. You haven't pipelined nothing out of that area. You letting UGA walk in and dominate everything. Got it. You're a math school. All right. You're a bunch of math majors. Y'all do nothing but calculus while you walking around campus. It's a whole bunch of pocket protecting ass motherfuckers walking around up there, and don't nobody want to go play for that school. That's why Georgia Tech is ass. All right. That's why they ass. You are in the heart of Atlanta, and you cannot put up any type of numbers. You can't do anything up there. That's why Paul Johnson had to go up there and run the triple option. And y'all were only winning them games because he was running the triple option because he couldn't get nobody to go there.
At people's ankles, hurting players,
right?
Putting up the divots on the field. Let's not pretend what was going on at Georgia Tech.
That's all you were doing up there, Georgia Tech. What is really going on? You are in the heart of Atlanta. All of that talent that's there, that's where UGA is pulling them from. They pulling them right from your backyard. You can't get them boys to stay home. And it just goes to show you should be better than you are, but you are another member of the plebeian ass Coast Conference that's doing nothing, but you're coming to the picnic. You're not even bringing no food. The food that you are bringing, you saw it on Etsy or some bullshit like that, and it's got raisins in it. All right. We know this.
Potato salad with raisins.
They're not even bringing potato salad. They're not even bringing that. All right. They bringing macaroni salad, and it's got it's got celery chopped up in it or some bullshit.
No.
Like that. All right. They putting tuna fish in their shit. Get your shit right, bro. Get your shit right. They're doing nothing to help this conference out. So Georgia Tech, another also ran in the ACC. We can go ahead and add you right to the rest of the middling ass programs like Wake Forest, NC State, Virginia, all of them. You right there in the middle, that whole middle bunch right there. You're not quite a Syracuse. You're not quite at the bottom like that, but you're that next tier up. So if Syracuse and Boston College are the little black line that's underneath the ass. Georgia Tech is the bottom part of the ass cheek of the ass coast conference. All right. You're not even the gluteus maximus. You are the fat on the ass of the ACC. That's what you are.
What I would say about Georgia Tech is the only thing we appreciate out of you is that you continuously beat up on Miami. You really ruined their whole year because those gifts never missed.
Never.
The memes didn't miss. Like, thank you to the MIT students, all the things. We appreciate it. And I would put Georgia Tech with Duke because, again, they are the Miami Annihilators. Like, I'm sorry. Can you imagine, like, being a top tier football team and having to be, like, scared about playing Duke in football? Like, I can't. But, like, that's where Miami is. Like, that's where they live. And they're going to get smoked by them this year, too. Manny Diaz is going to come up in there and beat their ass. And I cannot wait. We're going to go live at the moment that clock strikes 0.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. We got, look at Joe Long in the chat. He's scared to even tell us who his team is.
Do we think this is Stingray who has changed his name?
Nah, that ain't Stingray.
Okay.
Stingray got balls. Stingray would actually come up here and be like, hey, yo, XYZ. Joe Long ain't got shit to do. He ain't got nothing to do. He's scared. He's scared that we won't roast his sorry ass team. That's what the problem is. All right. Joe Long can go kick rocks. But yeah.
I'll put money on that. Whoever this base person, absolutely. Who wouldn't put money on that?
Oh, Base is a UM fan.
Duke has smoked Miami more times than Miami has smoked Duke. Are we here?
I think Base might be one of the 18 people that actually go to the games. So I'm gonna give him some credit.
I doubt it. No,
I think he is.
Only Miami fans are only internet based. We know that.
Nah. I think
they on
Base,
that keyboard.
I think Base he made sure to get all of the BOGOs that they got this year. He bought his 2 tickets so he can get his 3rd one free. I think he did it last year as well. I'm proud of you, Base. Show support for your team. He was actually out there holding the yellow rope up for all 100 recruits that they had out there when they had more recruits than
when they wouldn't allow them damn kids to sit in the stands while there was nobody sitting in them, and they just roped them in there like a bunch of cattle.
Fact. Based is that dude that starts the fights at the UM games whenever they losing. He's that guy who just sees somebody.
Does he have a long pinky nail?
Oh no, I'm not touching that. I'm leaving that alone.
I'll do it. Does he wear a do-rag and a long pinky nail? I just need to know real quick. Because that will tell me if he went to the school or if he's a fan.
Oh man. I'm gonna give Base some credit because you know what? He's in here fighting for his University of Coral Gables Hurricanes. He actually might be one of the people that can actually cross over into Coral Gables. All right. I don't think he lives on the other side. I think he might stay over there. He said he bite his nails. Oh nah, he live in Hialeah. That's what it is. He one of the ones that changed the street sign. So when La Migra comes by there looking for him, they can't tell what street they are. Yeah, I'm gonna give him that. Hey yo, shout out to Right of the Line. UM now accepts Win Dixie rewards. Hey yo. Hey yo, let's go. That is fucking hilarious.
That was funny. Good for you. I love that.
Oh my god. Oh man.
Like, please, you must be funny. If I don't already follow you on Twitter, send it to me because you must be amazing.
Facts. You're right. Find me up there too at Enderpop. Oh, come on, Based. I'm trying to give you some love, and you don't even live down there in Shamesville.
Yeah, I told you. What did I say? What did I say? He was an internet fan, like most of them are. They get their chest pumped out like they're a bunch of peacocks. You know, they get on the internet while they're in the basement, and there you go. Look, from Louisiana. I can't. Y'all tell on yourselves all the damn time.
You better than that, man. Come on, dog. I can't. I tried to give you love, bro, and you just come on, bro. I'm done.
This should teach you something.
Yeah, see, this is what I get for trying to give Shames fans any credit for anything. You know, that's the last time. Sorry ass team. I can't wait until Paying 40 on them sorry ass.
Y'all come clean up his trash around his pool.
Yeah. Yo, bring your wife too. She can wear a bikini and lay on my pool furniture while you clean the dirt out my pool, because that's all y'all.
You don't want these internet-based fans to bring their wives to come lay out by your pool, honey.
I mean, he's from Louisiana, so she might be able to make some nice gumbo or jambalaya or something.
Not lay by the pool though. You want her to cook, not lay by the pool.
Oh yeah, no. She can bring it over there. Now, if she built wrong, then she can drop her food off and take her ass back outside. Her and all 8 of her teeth. Either way. So as it goes, I just think based off of everything that we've seen, I can't wait for the season to get here. I can't wait for this thing to go, and I can't wait for us to get back out here. I think Florida State is going to be full blunt force trauma this year. We running down on everybody, and when I say running down on, I literally mean running down on. It's going to be a heavy dose of just running through a motherfucker face, Marshawn Lynch style, all season long, and I can't wait for it to get here. But that boy said he doesn't use X. Right of the line. I reserve my Winn-Dixie and Branch Davidian. Come on, dog. Hey, you got hey, you got me in trouble last time with that.
George just went.
Hey, he got me in trouble last time. Super producer George got mad at me. He was giving us the work after the show was over. But this is gonna be hilarious. He said he can't wait. DJU is gonna drag y'all down to one of his famous 8-4 seasons. Nah, bro. See, we got something that y'all don't got.
Quarterbacks dragging down seasons. If any team or fan base would know about it, you would.
Facts. Hey, you can go back like 3 episodes, bro. I ran down every quarterback that y'all had since Ken Dorsey left, and it was a whole steaming pile of ass. That's all it was. Like, every single one of them. They were all.
Imagine getting on the internet and being like, your quarterback is not going to be good, while my coach is Mario Cristobal and like his offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't remember his name because he's gone through 2 since he's been there. So I don't know who that is. I don't give a shit. Nobody does.
As a Shames fan, no less. As a Shames fan, y'all went and got De'Aaron King. He looked like ass out there for y'all. Y'all had who else did they have up there? Y'all had Felicia Sun. I mean, he was the best quarterback you had over the last 20 years. The best quarterback y'all had over the last 20 years. We're not going down this number. I'm done talking with them. I tried to give them credit, and they said, no, he is not more accomplished than Norville, bro. Get your shit right. All right, get your shit right. Mario Cristobal is not Norville. We're not even doing that. Either way, thank you to the chat. I want to say thank you to everybody for pulling up. As always, I want to give love to the beautiful co-host, my FSU Harley Quinn, to my girl Jen. Please make sure you like, subscribe. We're going to be back here next week. I think next week. We taking down Clemson next week? Are we ready to take them down yet?
Yeah.
We're going to run down on
We're
Clemson
going to have to.
next year. Yeah, it's going to be bittersweet because even though they're on our side of the aisle, I still don't like them.
We still got to take care of Dabo, though.
Yeah, we got to get this sorry ass up out of here.
He kind of gives me the creeps. He gives me the hippie jibbies. You know what I mean?
I thought you was going to say he give you the hillbilly blues. I was like, the fuck?
No, that would be a good thing. That man gives like his mom still writes his name and his sweatshirt vibes. You know what I mean?
And on that note, we're going to run this out. Shout out to Trub Life as we get up out of here. Go Nose, baby. Tiny Hat Gang. We out.
First off, fuck Bama in the road tide. Fuck Tuscaloosa in every city that's close by. Bitch ass hillbilly redneck fans. Auburn almost caught y'all slacking like dress pants. Michigan trash, they ain't got a damn chance. Only Wolverine I respect is X-Man. Sheen ass coach got exposed, still in plays. Damn right I'm bitter, y'all sweeter than lemonade. Texas ain't shit to rave about. The Longhorns only good at a steakhouse. Had y'all like number 3, I was like, no way. Y'all lost to Oklahoma, which means y'all just okay. And Washington not important. Y'all be some ducks, acting like that's vital as an organ. If we played y'all, we kick that ass Chuck Norris. Y'all stay boring. Only thing in that bitch is a forest. Let's set the record straight. Fuck your team if it ain't Florida State. 13-0, undefeated. Damn, what more it take? Denied our presence. That should be a crime. They jealous. Last time they won a championship, food stamps had paper dollars. Shout out to FAMU, that's fam too. They say it's about money, but keep it 100, we got bands too.
Yeah.